Hello everyone, this is the final round of the fourth Saturday tournament that takes place every month at Phoenix Marketcity Mall. I'm playing a tournament after a long time. It is the final round. My opponent Mihir Shah, he's on 6 out of 6, I'm on 5 out of 6. If I win, I have a chance to catch him. And Mihir opens the game with 1 e4. I push my pawn to c6, the Karo Khan. Knight to f3 played and d5. Here plays d3. Now this is an opening that has gained quite a lot of popularity. If you take, queen takes queen, white is okay to play these endgames. So I'm thinking about what to do because I haven't really looked at this opening very deeply. I know that you take and take the queen and then put some bishop e6 with ideas of g5, but I go g6. It's a simple move. Bishop g7. He pushes his pawn to d4. And I take here on e4, knight takes e4. And now knight f6 looks like a normal move, but knight d7 makes sense. You know, you want to put your knight here. If he trades, you want to take with the knight. There is a very cheeky trap that he can go for with queen e2 and checkmate here. Oh, it's not a checkmate. I can move there. Okay, anyway, he goes bishop c4. And I bring my knight out. He takes on f6 and I take back with the knight. Pawn to h3, stopping the bishop from coming to g4. And this feels like a very small edge for white out of the opening because you castle, you put your rook on e1, I castle, he also castles, put your rook here, c3, bishop f4, and looks like a nice position. What black is aiming for is to go b6 and c5, so I go b6 here. I want to put my bishop on this long diagonal. And now Mihir is thinking what to play. He goes c3, bishop comes out to b7. And maybe a good move is queen e2 to defend the bishop. But he goes bishop f4 and now I have a very strong move, which is to play c5, pawn takes pawn, and now queen c8, so that he cannot take here because the bishop is hanging and I'll take back, fully equalizing in the position. Well, I do go c5, that's a good move. But I believe that after d takes c5, queen c8 is something that I haven't seen here, so I just take back. And yes, this is an isolated pawn, but you get some pressure down on b2. Maybe not the best decision there, but still it's a fighting one. Queen e2, attacking the pawn on e7. Now I would love to put my queen on b6 here, but the e7 pawn would be hanging. So trying to focus here. It's 5 minutes plus 2 seconds increment here. So maybe e6. I play my pawn to e6, but it does weaken the dark squares in the position. And so rook f d1, rook a d1 with the idea of bishop d6. But what I have seen here is that after rook d1, I have this move bishop to d5. And now there's no way that he can win material. And next move, I'll get out with my queen. So all good until now. Mihir goes with his knight to e5. And I guess it's time now to go queen b6 because there's no fork that happens on the d7 square. The knight on f6 is controlling that square. And yes, queen b6 is played, putting pressure on the b2 point. White is still slightly better, but black is fighting. Maybe a normal move now is a4. Also have to remember that rook b8 could run into bishop attacking here. He goes bishop e3. And he is eyeing for b4. Now, b4 does look like a threat, but it isn't really, because the moment he plays b4, I have knight e4. So let's say, for example, I go rook b8, he goes b4. That would be quite an error because knight e4 attacking e4, also attacking the knight, could become very tricky. So that's the reason why here rook b8 or even rook d8, all these are great moves. No real problems for me. Also, I'm keen on playing queen b7 at some point to attack the g2 pawn. But for now, the c5 pawn could hang attacking the rook. So I have to be careful there. I play my rook to c8, which is kind of passive. Okay, I'm defending this pawn. Maybe preparing queen b7. That's one of the ideas here. And of course, to b4, I'm happy to meet it with knight e4 when black is fine. So now it's time for Mihir to go into a think and what's the way in which he can put pressure. Good games are all about trying to put pressure on your opponent and see when they crack. And the more good moves that each side can play, the more exciting the game can become, and it keeps building up the pressure. Mihir is down to 2 minutes 40 seconds. I have 2 minutes 23 seconds. A4 played. And here rook d8 would have been normal. I go queen b7, a terrible mistake. Thinking that the g2 pawn is hanging, but I absolutely have missed bishop a6. And you can see I stop in my tracks, and this is not a good thing. Because here you can see the exchange is lost. Mihir, like Pragnananda, gets his bottle out, sips, takes a sip of water. Well, I have to move my queen. And the thing is, I could keep the pressure on the g2 pawn, but I will be losing the rook. And now I'm trying to calculate if there's any way out of this mess. Maybe queen c7, then you take here, queen e5, but he just gets back and I have no real compensation. And so such errors happen because of rustiness. You haven't been playing much chess. Queen a8, and the only way to get over it is to play more. Now bishop c8 is hanging. Of course you can even save your g2 pawn with f3, but that gives me a chance to save the rook. So he takes it very confidently, and if I take back, I'm simply an exchange down after f3. Maybe it's the best way to play such positions. It has the best fighting chance, but I was feeling like, okay, this is just lost. So I took here on g2, but it's, I've given up an entire rook here. So bishop a6 is the right way to continue now, and you can expect a player of Mihir's caliber to just simply chop the rook and be happy, here, not get afraid of any ghosts like bishop h1 or bishop h3 threatening a mate here. So he does go bishop a6, and now, okay, I can go bishop h1, but then there is f3 and my bishop is trapped. I can play bishop f3, h3, but there is queen f3 attacking the bishop and the queen. So in a way, I don't have too many options here. Also, my time is running low, 55 seconds left on the clock. So knight jumps to h5, attacking the knight here. f4, good move, defending the knight, also attacking the bishop here. In general, I think bishop d5 is better, but bishop h3 played, and now Mihir finds this beautiful move, trading queens and also attacking the bishop. Well, I can take the queen here, knight takes, and then I'm simply a rook down. I have 2 pawns, but that's too little material. So queen f3, and you can see my time running down here as Mihir confidently going to score 7 out of 7 in this tournament. Well, I think this one didn't go my way, and you can see 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and I resign, and my opponent wins here, and well, he wins the tournament. And of course queen b7 was the mistake. Well, more games to be played. more things to be learned, and well, hopefully, this will be the start of my comeback in the chess world.